6 o'clock. All members are present. I'd like to start with the acceptance of last month's minutes. Everyone get a chance to read those? Accept. Can I get a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
Second.
All those in favor?
Dean, yes.
Mills, yes.
Bueller, yes.
I go first. Alphabetical.
Not today, you
I
know.
went to OA. Next up, the variance for 31 Blackbrook Road. Request variance to reduce the setback from the proposed SES to the property line on Blackbrook Road from 10 to 8 feet. That's you.
That's me.
Hi.
Hi, Pat Farrar from BMP Consulting.
Come on over.
Come on out, come on down.
Hi, Pat. Alright, so we're here because we have a septic system on Blackbrook Road. I did the soil testing with Mark. I took a couple of sieve tests. They were very similar, not great soil. And when we did the survey and the property lines came in, we had very limited room. So in order to keep a gravity system and not have to use a pump chamber and cross the driveway and the water service, we're kind of shoehorned into a little corner of the front yard. So we can meet the setbacks to the property line on the right to the abutter. We just can't meet the setback to the actual layout of Blackbrook Road. And I believe we sent a copy in, but we did send a notice to the selectman's office to let them know that was happening.
I'm just trying to look at the house.
Here you go.
Close to the depot. Down that way to the left-hand side. I drove by it today.
Yeah, it sits at a really odd angle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they, I don't know why they put it like that, to tell you the truth.
Yep.
But they did.
You can see, this is where he's gonna be 8 feet from
Yeah.
the property line.
Yep.
And then there's a setback from the house to the field as well. 'cause
17 feet.
This will go from 20 to 17 to make it fit.
Yeah, but by doing this, we're able to do a gravity system with a small change in the interior plumbing, instead of having to use a pump chamber.
I don't have a problem with the 2 feet because there's the buffer room anyways in there.
Yeah, well, it'll be actually 8 feet from the field, so the
Right.
field, 5 foot over dig, and then.
Right.
Yeah.
Then it'll.
And then, yeah, as you can see, this is the actual curbing in Blackbrook Road, so, yeah, it's not like it's right up against the physical road.
Right. There's
Just
still,
the-
it's just 2 feet less of a setback.
And you're
buffer.
providing a impervious
Yes,
barrier
impervious barrier we needed to make the breakout elevation.
and avoiding the cost, the expense, the wear and tear, the possible not having the pump work in an extended power
Oh,
outage.
I'm all for not using a pump. You don't need to.
Yep.
Anyone have any questions?
No.
No.
Get a motion to approve.
Second.
And that would be for the variance at 31 Blackbrook Road from 10 feet to 8 feet. All those in favor, Mills, yes.
Dean, yes.
Bueller, yes.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Kristen.
See you, Pat.
All right, have a good one. You're welcome.
Thanks
Took you longer
again.
to drive it.
Not really, because I live right over in Stoughton, 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
About the same time then.
All right.
Next up, a betterment for 135 Dean.
We have a betterment, and for 135 Dean, they're asking for the full amount of 45,000, and they are in good standing with the town at this time. So we're just looking for approval to move the process on.
Motion to approve the betterment for 135 Dean Street.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, Mills, yes.
Dean, yes.
Bueller, yes.
Notes.
The two things that pop into my mind are, the state does have its first positive triple E mosquitoes. They are at our doorstep, but not quite here.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's gonna be the year.
So we're taking all the precautions we, normally do. Mark's been doing test blasts out to our lists, making sure that all the information we have is correct so that we can get the information out into the right people's hands when it happens, not if it happens, when it happens, and Triple E is here.
I wish there was a way, well, considering it's after July 4th, I like to say summer's over. My wife who works at a school would be angry with me, but I'm not saying things are gonna get shut down, there's gonna be a curfew, but if there's ever a year that the likelihood of that happening would be to almost give like the schools a heads up of start making a plan.
I think they have.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's lost
Yeah.
on them
Good.
at all. We have, the department as a whole has been doing a lot more work and has had a lot more access
Mhm.
to the leadership at the school.
Good.
Either through their special services and our community paramedicine program, our social workers. So there's a lot of touch points and connectivity as far as some of these things. We just recently reached out to them. We had a communicable disease that we wanted to make sure the community was aware of. And just aware of, because it's one of those ones where you'd be like, a month later, oh, maybe I should have looked at that. And just heightening, they were terrific as far as, they sent an email, they drafted an email while we were in a Zoom. The superintendent approved it on the spot, and they helped us get the word out through all of their channels.
Nice.
So I don't doubt that that they will be there. They won't be hard to find. I can make a point of in the next week or two reaching out to Mary, the new athletic director. I think she's actually been there a couple of years now, so I should
Yeah,
start
about a year and a
calling her
half.
and do-
I was just gonna ask if we talked to athletics and band, because typically they start up in August as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yep,
And that's when I guess we can anticipate that this will probably peak.
I just remember-
In the past, the problem was the band and the size.
It was,
You know what I
when we curfewed it the last time, it was a little chaotic. It's just, I think, I mean, it was a while ago, I think 5 or 6 years ago.
16,
I think
wasn't it?
it's more than that.
Jack was,
2016 was the crazy year.
yeah, okay, yeah, that's, we're still playing football, that's why I just remember it was trying to,
Yep, and it's hard to find indoor spaces. The band especially was the one that had trouble, for them to actually practice together. There's just not a space that's easy. But we will continue to keep them in the loop. We'll
As well
send
as the
out,
camps, I guess, right?
yeah, the camps, we do that routinely anyway.
Yeah. Like the last heat event, we sent out a notification like what to look for heat stroke and stuff like that to all the camps, because all the camps are licensed through us. So we have all the emails, and I do an email chain for them. I have a community group email chain that Kristen helped develop, and then everyone in town hall, and then the schools, like the superintendent, are notified and stuff. So yeah.
Great. Yep, so as part of, that was the other issue was the heat events and the fact that they're coming faster and more furious. Myself and a group of other department heads are part of the MVP program that the town is participating in at the state level, and that's the Municipal Vulnerability Preparation Program, or Preparedness Program. And it's meant to tie and connect equity and climate change together, to make sure that those people that we might miss don't get missed. But it's also by completing, so last month we had to all 3 Tuesdays in a row, 2 hours at night, to go through the initial process of how we were gonna work together and some sample projects. But it's also tied to some grant money that's out there. And just by participating and us completing, we are already guaranteed some type of little mini grant. And we're not, so we're toying with a couple of different things to do it, but it's really forcing us to look at things through a different lens. So with the last heat event that we had that came on rather rapidly, we were able to use our connections through our deputy directors and whatnot, and our the mental health liaison, and they actually went out and visited some of our more at-risk people that we've identified. They arranged for help getting the window air conditioner installed in one of the homes because they just couldn't do it. We also have a small cache of units that we are loaning out.
window ACs or? ACs?
Window units?
Not the window units, the floor units
floor
that
units,
are
oh,
real
even
easy
better.
to install.
Yeah.
Yep, the ones that are just roll out and put in. So they have that little tool in their toolkit. They're kind of recycled ones that have come to us through a a different path, but, just letting people know, letting EMS know when they're out there, if they're in a home, and that seems to be the issue. Again, we go back to the trying to avoid crisis. So if they're there, if you're there and you know you're gonna be back a day later, because it's just gonna continue and the person isn't doing well, we have resources and we wanna
It's
wanna
great.
avoid that trip to the hospital.
And do
There are
we
a lot
have
of
enough
people who can't.
units, or is there a need for more?
Right now, we have enough.
Okay.
If we need more, we can start digging a little bit deeper. But we know where there are a few more that are not being used because there've been a lot of projects like this that
Sure.
have put in the other types
The
of
mini
units.
splits and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? Because they used to be in all these, right? Is that where they?
We
came
all,
from?
we had 90% of the building with
Right.
window units.
Oh, yeah.
Window units and a couple of the floor units.
Window shakers.
Yeah, so they don't do anybody any good sitting in a closet collecting
Oh,
dust.
that's wonderful. I didn't know that was
So-
going on.
What would be the contact for that if you had your office?
Probably through Health and Community Services,
Okay.
through Tracy Levine, the Deputy Director of Financial and Veteran Services, or our Mental Health Liaison, Stephanie Kantav. She's actually on vacation this week, so that might not work well.
I've been doing a lot of home visits in Easton, and there were some hot houses this weekend
Yep.
with elderly people who are vulnerable, and
Absolutely.
it's nice to be able to give them the resource or the way to reach out.
And some of them, it just was the installation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not having to pay a handyman or pay,
Right.
one of the big box stores to send somebody out to
To
do
do
it.
Right.
So we're trying very hard to be very hands-on and, again, identifying those people in our community who are at risk and doing whatever we can to
Great.
avoid it elevating to crisis level.
And if there's a need for more units, would you let Chris or I know?
Sure. Yep.
We may have the resources for more of those.
And there are a lot of other community groups as well that
Okay.
just between the Lions and, we have a lot of people we could go to.
Great.
We also have a very healthy, on the veteran side of it, we have a Veterans Discretionary Fund that is healthy and is available for anything that maintains the dignity of our veterans. And I would say heat and cool now, where people are starting to look at it, cooling is just as important in these extreme events as the heating
this
is.
weather's
Horrible.
So
I can't
that's,
imagine not having relief.
My parents. No AC, no fan.
We can send,
My God,
They don't feel it. They don't feel it. The elderly, that's why they're so at risk.
Right.
They don't feel the temperature change.
when they have a raised ranch,
Yeah.
so the second you go down to the family room downstairs, it feels better.
Right. Yeah.
Just get a dehumidifier.
Are they still in town, Chris? Where you grew up?
Yeah, yeah.
we're
I've been to
implementing water and Gatorade on our buses on the high heat days too, just because they don't think about going, we all walk around with our jugs and we're very conscious of it. They're not. Over at Frothingham, we had posted, and it sounds kind of gross, but there's a urine chart that, you need to be keyed into
Yeah.
as to whether or not
Color.
you get
the
dehydrated.
great indicators right there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yep, so
People
getting a
don't
lot
put
of
any
that
thought into that.
information out there. Last event, Shay, the administrative assistant assigned to programming and community engagement, did a bunch of Facebook posts for us that were, easily able to just deploy with those little one-off, hey, make sure of this, check on your neighbors, make sure of that, so.
That's awesome.
That's great. I wasn't aware.
Feel good
That's
stuff.
Yeah, no,
That is.
that really is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Taking
Thank
care
you.
of the community, absolutely. Perfect.
Member notes, anyone?
Nothing.
I got
I did
nothing.
reach out to Priscilla Madden of Bristol County Mosquito Control from what you mentioned last meeting.
All the railroad beds.
Yeah, and they said they don't have access to them and that it's too far in for them to walk it. So that was her immediate answer, and I said, would there be a potential of you doing a site walk with the board if they'd like? And she's like, yes, we're open to that, I'm always up for educational time, so,
Anytime. If they want to
Okay.
go for a walk, I would absolutely. do it.
I know people work, so I know your schedule's more flexible than most, so you guys,
It can be, if I'm not
you
traveling.
guys all have my email, you wanna just, I'll email all of you about
Yeah.
a few dates.
So just get us a couple dates and absolutely we can make that work. I actually purchased one of the hats with the nets. I did, I couldn't
Didn't
take it
Tim
anymore
too?
between the,
Somebody else
well,
did.
between the deer flies and the mosquitoes, I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah,
And-
the flies are brutal.
Oh,
Deer flies.
but
Were
that was the best investment. I was
violent.
like, I'm like, I love walking again. This is fantastic because
My uncle just
the
got
dog
out of the
loves to be in the
hospital
woods.
for tick-borne illnesses, like
Yeah.
so sick, like it's
That's
important.
Yeah, that would be wonderful, yeah, if we could follow through it, because the water's still there. And
Yeah.
it's
Pretty
just
flexible.
stagnant, dirty,
Right.
filthy,
Can
swampy.
they give us pucks? Can we throw them in?
You can
On our
buy them
wall?
at Home Depot and Lowe's. You
Alright,
can buy
let's do it.
I bought them because,
Board project.
not to get off topic, but I have a dilapidated in-ground swimming pool, and in certain rain events, I do get stagnant water in the bottom, and I just go out,
Chuck them in.
put a puck in there, and I read the thing, how many gallons, it does like, one
Gotcha.
puck does like 750 gallons, so one puck does it for each month.
Mhm.
I just walk out to my
It's worth it.
in-ground
You,
pool.
do you swim in it still?
Oh God, no, I have a tree this big growing out of the shallow end.
Oh,
It's so far back in my property, and it's
Not
within the
even-
wetland buffers,
right.
I can't prune the trees the right way,
yeah,
and when I moved in, it was decommissioned. No
Oh.
liner, all it is cement walls with a sand bottom, so when the
Oh.
water table drops, there's no water in it. If the water
gotcha.
table raises in the spring, it's an issue, so I treat it in the spring.
Make it a skateboard park. You know,
So someday I'll fill it in.
I'll come spray. I did my yard yesterday and the bird stopped.
no. Just kidding.
Not so much.
I really don't have anything else, maybe we should put a packet together for golf safety, I'm thinking, but we can talk about that offline.
Yeah, we can add them to who we're trying to target this information out to in both areas, as far as the mosquitoes and the heat.
And the carts.
All right, get a motion to adjourn. At
Motion to adjourn.
6:19,
17.
17. I still don't think that's up. All those in favor? Mills, yes.
Me and yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.